watching BSGcast. I'm Nat, he's Matt, and let's get started.
So, episodes 3 and 4 kind of just feel like episode 2, because Machinima doesn't really have a thing where they make these into distinct episodes that you have to hunt down. Obviously, episode 1 and episode 2 last week must have had a lot of drop-off. People watched episode 1 and then didn't know there was an episode 2 or something to that effect. There's no other explanation for this. People are so dumb that they couldn't find it, is
so
what
Machinima's
thinking. So they had to
spoon-feed the next episode by touching it.
Because really,
you think?
Machinima has to prove to Sci-Fi that you went with the right guys. You gave us your show, and it's going, and we're getting great numbers. So this is what they're doing to try to make sure that you watch really the rest of it.
Interesting.
And yeah, I think a better move would be releasing an episode on Tuesday and an episode on Friday.
Maybe.
So that you're like excited all the way through. If they want to hit this December 7th deadline and make sure that everything gets put out at the same time, that's cool. But I don't think 2 episodes in one day is the way to do it. It'd hit a fever pitch faster.
Yeah.
If it was 2 episodes a week,
yeah.
We'd be all over that. But
and talking about it a lot more throughout the week, probably.
Exactly. But yeah, so now we're watching like 17 minutes worth of show.
Which
basically.
I'm not complaining about, because it gives like a bigger dose of BSG in one sitting, which I'm a huge fan of. And you know what? I'm going to get right into saying that's what I really am enjoying about this series so far. It feels like old school BSG.
You know,
the first 2
that's
episodes
the
are like,
best thing about it.
Nostalgia, but now you're like, oh, I actually think I like this better than Caprica. I'm going to go ahead and say
So far, I do too.
Right?
I mean, Caprica was a very different animal than Battlestar. The only similarity was that you're in the colonies. They were in 1 episode of Battlestar, and you've got Cylons.
Exactly.
But now we have something that is really, truly Battlestar Galactica. You know, we're not on the ship anymore, but we're in a Raptor. We know what the Raptors look like.
Absolutely.
Because we had this beautiful moment where we were dealing with an old-fashioned ship. You know, that was what Battlestar Galactica was. And now we're seeing an old-fashioned ship, but that's brand new. You know, they don't have to do the Star Wars thing where they do, or even the Star Trek thing, like, this is a prequel series. All our stuff has to look different. It all looks the same.
Yeah.
And it's glorious.
Yeah, and for me, I think the main part is that Caprica was really fascinating because it added to the story and fleshed out the history. Blood and Chrome is awesome because it is that wartime drama that Battlestar Galactica was. And so, yeah, like I'm watching it and I'm eating it up. I feel like I'm right at home. I love it.
Yeah, it's delivering everything Caprica didn't,
Totally.
which is exactly why Caprica failed.
Now, in terms of what we saw in the episode 3 and 4, Adama
Being Adama.
amazing! Like, when he's out there threading the needle, that was just some crazy maneuvering. That was ballsy. That was Papa Dama being Papa Dama. Oh, I love him. I love him.
I'm really enjoying this early glimpse at him telling someone, I am the pilot, you are the co-pilot. Like, right away, he's really into this. He's taking control, he's taking command, and he's taking it very seriously. And there was a qualm I had with the first episode where we saw him do his Kobayashi Maru move with no real stakes because there was no actual radiation to worry about. But now, he would have died had that threading the needle move where we saw an FTL engine in all its glory.
Easy.
If that didn't work, they would have died. So now we really got to see Adama's cajones at work. It was great. I really enjoyed that.
Same. I thought that was fantastic. And then, you know, they get through it. They obviously survive, and they get the engineer to an interesting destination.
Yes, this fleet of ghost ships is really cool. What a great idea. You know, these poor soldiers who now have to pretend like they're dead.
Yeah, that was crazy because you get on there, and again, it's that idea where I know these are webisodes and it's hard to really build out the characters, but there was that one moment where Coker runs into an old pilot friend of his, and he's like, hey, you know, I went back home and saw, you know, your girl, and she has a son, and, you know, it slowly comes out that it's his son, and then just that elation, that excitement that pilot felt at that moment, you're like, I care, like, it's these little human moments, these bright moments in the darkness that we know they're about to go into.
Yeah, and
without
having a B story necessarily threading through, it does have these bits with, you know, the commander of the Battlestar Galactica, and then you get this pilot that pops up, and all of a sudden you find him interesting, and then, you know, just the idea that these characters are a bit more of the world, without necessarily being, you know, the the Apollo Starbuck love story happening in the background of the pilot
Yeah.
of Battlestar. This is giving you those other interesting characters like Commander Ozar.
Yeah. So
Wow.
okay. Badass is a female commander. Did anyone else think that she bore a crazy resemblance to Admiral Kane, but with bangs?
I could see that. I mean,
I'm not saying they're the same exactly, but I'm just saying, and no, it's not my white line, so I'm just saying that if you look at their facial structures, I had to look them up on IMDb.
Just to make sure they were different
actress,
people?
I knew they were different people, but Jill Teed looks very similar to Michelle Forbes.
yes, there is a passing resemblance, and I can definitely think that's on purpose.
Do you think? Because I was going to say, that's kind of weird.
Well, the idea that this is just a badass commander, this is what a female badass commander is going to look like, it's shorthand for us. We all know what we want this person to look like, and she looks like it. Just like the pilot looked a lot like Sebastian Shaw, or Sebastian, I can't remember the actor's name from First Wave, who was in Battlestar. I had someone on BSGcast, or someone on Your Geek News actually asked if it was supposed to be his father.
Interesting.
Yeah, and I don't think so, but there's a serious resemblance between those two actors.
Oh, and speaking about reusing actors, there was the one in
the sweaty dude pushing the buttons. I can never remember his name, but he was in Battlestar Galactica, and he kind of lost weight from season 1 to season 3, so he started to look a little bit different, a little more lean and mean. But in this, he's lean and mean. He's the guy who was trying to bomb President Baltar's ship. And he got arrested for that. And then he gets released for the mutiny when Gaeta takes over. But same actor, different guy. Interesting. I guess he doesn't have kids because he just died.
Yeah, exactly, which was epic as well. I couldn't believe that happened.
My God. So let's definitely get this into the next series of episodes. We've got episodes 5 and 6 to talk about.
Oh, and I really wanted to quickly add the engineer, the lovely engineer. She did almost nothing in these 2 episodes.
Yeah, pretty much. And what did you call her? The woman of
a few words and even fewer facial expressions.
Yes!
Because she does barely anything.
She does virtually nothing. But let's talk about her doing nothing in the next 2 episodes because we got to talk about those next.